and slave in the Soviet Union during the Cold War, his story is one of ultimate surrender. We are called to offer up our own worries, anxieties, problems, and lives to God. There will also be Lent music, Lent-specific Bible stories, and other Lenten prayers, like the 7 Last Words of Christ with Jim Caviezel. Hallow is truly transformative. It'll help you connect with your faith on a deeper level. So what exactly are you waiting for? Download that Hallow app today at hallow.com/Shapiro for an exclusive 3-month free trial of all 6,000 plus prayers and meditations. Reconnecting with God, it's going to be the most important thing you do on any given day. Do it with hallow.com/Shapiro right now. That's hallow.com/Shapiro. But if you look at the Republican side of the aisle, Republicans have been pretty consistent until the very recent past, until basically Joe Biden took office. Republicans have been very consistent in their belief that America is in fact the best country in the world. In 2011, 47% of Americans believed that America was the best country in the world. Only 5% of Americans believed other countries were better than the United States. Fast forward to 2019, same numbers. 46% of Republicans believed that America was the best country in the world, and only 5% of Americans believed that other countries were better than the United States. But if you fast forward to 2023, that number has now dropped 15%. Only 31% of Republicans believe that America is better than all the other countries in the world. And now 17%, or just under 1 in 5, Republicans believe that other countries are better than the United States. There is a growing sense, and it's connected to Joe Biden being elected, but it's not totally due to Joe Biden being elected. There's a growing sense that things are falling apart in the United States. And this is playing out in some strange foreign policy terms. And there's always been sort of this underlying idea on the paleocon right that virtually everything that goes wrong in the world is due to American overextension. That it's American foreign policy in the post-war era that has created all problems. Now, this neglects the fact that it was American foreign policy that defeated legitimately the greatest threat of the 20th century, which was not Nazi Germany. The greatest threat of the 20th century was the Soviet Union, because that threat lasted literally from the Soviet Revolution of 1918 all the way forward until 1990. It was a 4-generation threat, and the United States defeated that. So that makes for a pretty good foreign policy. I mean, that's a pretty good foreign policy record. And when you point to the shortcomings of American foreign policy since then, those are very real. But American hegemony has created freedom of the seas. American hegemony has created freedom of trade. American hegemony has ensured a huge percentage of the globe has risen from poverty. And yes, it has ensured the prosperity of American citizens. I understand that there is this kind of bizarre notion that Americans now are living worse than they did in 1980. There is no data to support this. The notion that Americans were living better in 1980, I promise, just an easy question for anyone who believes